Welcome to Paper Crafters Library. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this Sweet Thing card featuring products from the Bo Bunny Sweet Tooth collection. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how to enter to win the Bo Bunny Sweet Tooth prize pack. So let's get started. You're going to need a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of Java cardstock. I've used my paper trimmer with my scoring blade to score this at 5 1/2, so that when I fold my card in half, along that crease line, I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. I'm going to crease along that score line with my bone folder to give me a nice crisp edge. You're then going to set this aside for a moment, and you're now going to need a piece of rose red cardstock that measures 4 1/8 by 4 1/2 inches. I'm also going to use the Stampin' Up! Scallop Trim Border Punch, and I'm going to scallop along one of the 1 1/8 inch edges. So I'm going to insert that into my punch, find the groove that it's in and the edge where to start, punch that, and then just use my grid to punch along the bottom. Once you've completed that, you can set your punch aside as well as clean off your work area. You're now going to need a piece of designer paper that measures 4 by 4, and this is the Sweet Tooth dot pattern, and I'm going to stick this to my scalloped piece of rose red cardstock using some double-sided adhesive. So just go ahead and center and stick that, leaving equal borders on the top, left, and right hand side, and you're just going to leave the scallop showing along the bottom. Now you're going to need a piece of the Early Espresso 5/8 satin ribbon, and this is a 6-inch piece. I'm going to lay that across the top portion of my matted cardstock here, and I'm leaving about 1.5 inches space from the top. I'm going to wrap the ends of my ribbon around to the back and stick them down using some double-sided adhesive. Just going to make sure that that's straight across the front to wrap the second side. Once you have that part complete, you're going to bring back your card base and you're going to stick this to the top portion of your card. I like to make sure that I have some adhesive on the ends of my ribbon so that it sticks down properly. So now I'm just going to stick this to the top portion of my card, leaving equal borders on the top, left, and right hand sides. Once you have that stuck down, you're now going to need a small piece of linen thread. And you're going to need this so that when you create your faux bow, you have this attached to it. You're also going to tie your tag on using this. So in order to create your tag, you're going to take this tag element that you have in your noteworthy die cut elements, and you're going to need a scrap piece of Java cardstock. I'm just going to stick my tag here to my cardstock, punching out the center piece because we are going to need it as a tag. And I'm just going to stick that down to my scrap piece of cardstock. Now I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm just going to cut out a border around the tag. Just leaving a slight Java border around the outer edges to make that stand off from your designer paper here. So just leaving a very small border. I'm going to trim around all the way around. Clean off your work area. You can set aside your paper snips for a moment, and now you're going to need either a crocodile or a standard hole punch. I'm just using a standard hole punch that I found at my office supply store, and I'm going to punch out that hole. And I used the original hole on my tag for my guide. So now that you have this punched out, you're going to take your small piece of linen thread that through the hole, and then take the other piece and slide that under your 6-inch piece of Early Espresso satin ribbon there. You're just going to tie this into a knot, and you want it to gather part of the ribbon there, so that when you attach your bow, it will look like the bow is attached or part of this piece of ribbon. Then you're just going to trim off any of your excess linen thread here. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull that over a little bit, but I'm going to stick down my tag using some Stampin' Dimensionals to hold that down in place. I'm just going to place 2 Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of the tag. And then I'm just going to make sure that the top portion of my tag is a little higher than my ribbon, and it's on a slight angle, pointing towards the bottom right-hand corner. You can set aside your dimensionals as you won't need them anymore. You're going to take your 12-inch piece of your Early Espresso 5/8 inch satin ribbon. You're going to tie this into a faux bow. So like I said before, I always like to start with 2 loops and then just tie that into a bow. And I usually get a fairly nice bow when I do that. If your tails are a little too long, then you can trim those off. But mine are fine, and I'm going to stick these down using some mini glue dots. So just place a few mini glue dots on the back of the knot on the bow, and you're just going to stick that down directly over that linen thread. So now that you have your bow in place, you're going to take and add your greeting, and I'm going to use the Sweet Thing self-adhesive element here found in my Bow Bunny collection. I'm just going to snip this in half, and I'm going to add Sweet Thing to my tag on a slight angle. Just like so. And my last step is to embellish using some of my bright pink rhinestones, and these are just found at the dollar store. You can find them at many craft supply stores. I'm just adding a small rhinestones to the center of my flower there, and then I'm just adding some large ones to the center of a few random flowers in the background. And once you've added enough that you're happy with the placement of each of those rhinestones, you're finished. There you have a super cute, easy, Sweet Thing greeting card. So let's take a look at this week's Freebie Friday prize pack. As part of the collection pack, you'll receive 9 double-sided pattern papers. We've also included the Bow Bunny Sweet Tooth Noteworthy die cut elements, as well as the Bow Bunny Sweet Tooth jewels. So all you have to do to enter to win this collection pack is to visit the Paper Crafters Library blog. Enter a comment in the post you see here. If you're watching this video from somewhere other than our blog, you'll find a direct link to this post in the video description section. While you're there, I invite you to check out our video library by clicking on the video library link at the top of our blog. Whether you're a beginner looking to learn the basics or an advanced paper crafter looking to learn new skills and techniques, you'll find it all here. Stamping, card making, scrapbooking, and altered art, we cover it all. With over 700 videos currently in our library and new videos added almost daily, we are the largest and most comprehensive online library of video tutorials for paper crafters on the internet. We invite you to visit our library and see what we're all about. The winner for this week's giveaway will be announced on our blog on Friday, March 2nd. See you on the blog!